For today's episode, I really want to speak to the person on the other side of the camera that is too afraid to take that next step in their life, and they feel doubtful and like they're not capable to reach their full potential and reach their big dreams. A lot of us have these big goals and aspirations, and we think it's too hard to achieve. So I want to tell you guys how self-belief is going to change your life. Most of you guys are holding yourself back because you're waiting for the perfect plan, you're waiting for the perfect timing, or you're waiting for the right circumstances and the confidence to be able to step into something that you know you want to do so bad. Number one, guys, you do not need the perfect plan to get started. There's no such thing as the perfect plan. A lot of people spend so much time researching and having that plan in place, they're not giving themselves the time to actually execute on that plan. When you execute and take action, that's what gets you to those goals and those aspirations. There is some truth to having some type of plan. You don't want to completely not know what you're doing, obviously. But a lot of people spend so much time planning and not actually taking the action steps. So literally have a little plan and force yourself to pick a date and just execute on it. You're going to be able to see that progress a lot quicker than if you were still in that little mode of planning. The second thing is a lot of people think that they have to have the right timing. There's no such thing as the right timing, guys. We're always busy with work, with our family, with school, anything we have going on in our life. There's always something happening. There's never going to be a right time to start your fitness journey, to start a new hobby, to start a business, to start your career. You have to just start it. If you really want something in life, you're gonna find the time to make it happen, and you're gonna take that action anyway. The third thing that most people struggle with is thinking that they have to have enough confidence to be able to step into something new. And I wanna tell you guys that you don't need confidence to start. There's so many instances in my life where I thought I had to have the confidence first before I do the thing. And it's actually the complete opposite. You need to step into the fire and take messy action. And when you go into the fire and take that action, the clarity is going to come. And when the clarity comes, that's when the confidence comes. When you do something over and over again, you give yourself evidence that you are the person that you're trying to step into. And that's what's going to help you have that confidence. You're never going to have confidence starting because you have no idea what you're doing. You have to jump into it without knowing how it's going to end up. You have to be okay with people judging you and perceiving you, and you will get to where you want to be, I promise you. Having self-belief that you can do something, even if you don't know how you're going to get there and how you're going to accomplish it, that's what's going to get you so far. Self-belief is the only thing that you need to be able to accomplish anything in your life. If you believe that you can do it, even if you have no idea how you're going to do it and how you're going to get there, that alone is going to get you to your dreams and your aspirations. Around the time when I was in the car scene, I used to drive a clapped ass Honda Civic. It was an automatic car. It wasn't anything cool that the car scene would have and people would have in the car shows. I always aspired to have a manual car. I really wanted to learn about cars and learn how to drive manual. It was my dream to drive manual. When I had my Honda Civic, I would actually pretend as if I had a manual. I would visualize myself shifting gears and just having a cool car that makes cool sounds and everything. In the summer of 2021, that's when I decided to buy a manual car. So I sold my Honda Civic and I traded it in for a 2015 Subaru WRX. It was a manual car. Keep in mind, this was a stage 2 clutch on a manual car. So that means it's a little bit more harder to drive, especially for someone that is a complete beginner. So basically, guys, I had the balls to buy a manual car when I had no idea how to drive manual. And I bought a car that happened to be one of the hardest manuals to drive because of it being a stage 2 clutch, where it's very stiff. Just like I talked about in the beginning of the podcast, guys, I had the self-belief that I'm gonna force myself to buy this car because once I buy it, there's no going back. I can't just sell it right away. So I decided to believe in myself that I'm gonna learn how to drive manual, and I gave myself no options. So I literally had no backup option to fall back on if I would have failed on how to drive manual. So I had this friend named Kevin, love Kevin to death. He drove to my house every day for a week to pick me up and take me in my new car and show me how to drive it every single day. So it took a week to start learning how to drive it, but I didn't feel confident until 2 months later. So the first 2 months of my life were actually hell. I would go on the roads and have so much anxiety because I stalled all over the roads. So I dealt with a lot of depression and anxiety for the choice that I had by getting that car. But my self-belief and my faith was so strong to the point where I believed in myself and I was able to drive that car like a badass. I had so much fun driving the car. I actually still have the car. I love the car to death, but I don't like driving manual every single day as a daily driver. So I actually do want to end up getting an automatic eventually. The gist of my story is I had that belief and faith that I could do something. Not only did I not know how I was going to learn how to drive, because I didn't even know my friend Kevin was going to help me. I didn't have that planned out in advance when I got the car, but I just believed in myself that I was going to do it, even though I had no idea how it was going to happen. I was willing to take messy action. I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable temporarily to learn how to drive the car and then be confident in the car. And then I ended up driving the car and having so much fun with it. Now, I don't recommend doing something that ballsy because it definitely can be risky to buy a whole ass new car and it's a manual car that you can't drive. I just want to show you guys that having the balls and just having that belief, even when you have no idea how it's going to work out, is going to get you so far in life. That's just one example that I have in my life, but something else that I want to share with you guys is when I started my online coaching business in 2021. So around 2021, I was actually working as a server and I hated my job. When I was serving, like towards the end of my serving career, everything started going bad. And around that time, I wanted to start online coaching. I had no idea how I was going to make that my reality, but I just knew that I was going to get there if I had that self-belief. So around that time, I spoke into existence my dreams and my aspirations, such as the online coaching. And that's when everything started to go to shit at my job. Things started going wrong. There was a time when I served a table of like 16 people, I think, and only half the ticket of their food printed. So the kitchen only made half the table's food and the other people didn't have food. So it was a shit show and it was actually my fault because I didn't know when you have the big table that they want you to enter half the table first, send in the ticket, and then do the other half and then send the ticket. I did it all on one ticket and I didn't know any better. The customers didn't give a shit. They treated me so poorly. Every single person tipped me $0. Like even if a server messed up and did that to me, I would never have it in my heart to tip zero and write mean things on the receipt. I went in the bathroom and I cried my heart out, and I never used to cry for anything. I never even had a job that made me cry, but serving made me cry all the time. There's so many times I was either in that damn bathroom or in my car after my shift and I would cry my heart out. This job, in my opinion for me, was horrible. Like it felt like slavery. I didn't like the way I felt serving. I know everyone else can have a different experience. Some people might like serving, but for me personally, it wasn't the thing for me. The point of my story, let me get back on track. Everything started to go to shit for a reason. My life started getting tore down. Everything was going bad at work. And that's because God needs to remove things in your life that are no longer serving you so he can then replace it with abundance and things that you're asking for and dreaming for and praying for. So around that time, I quit serving. I couldn't handle it anymore. So I actually, luckily, was already signed up with DoorDash in the past from COVID times when I would do DoorDash. And I had to work 7 days a week, all day, to be able to afford basic stuff like my rent and my groceries. So I had to quit serving and do DoorDash every single day. But to me, it was worth it because I didn't have a boss. I didn't have to work on a set schedule. I didn't have to be a server anymore. So around that time when I was doing DoorDash, I used all of my free time between the rides of going to restaurants and dropping off food in people's houses and everything. I used that time to grow my social media. So I would make sure I was posting every single day. I forgot to mention that I used to go to the gym midday. So from morning till like noonish, I would do DoorDash. And then in that gap of time, I would go to the gym. And then after that, I would finish off doing DoorDash for the rest of the night. I had to take that temporary sacrifice to go after my dreams. I knew in my heart that eventually I will be able to do coaching full time. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know how it was going to be possible for me, but I made it happen. Around that time, I was posting consistently while I was doing DoorDash, and my TikToks of my transformation started going crazy. It got to the point, I forgot to mention that I launched my coaching in January of 2021. So I started the coaching, but I wasn't like full-time or anything yet. I kind of just started things as I was doing DoorDash. My TikTok started getting traction, and I had my coaching application in the link in the bio. And this was a crazy time of my life, guys. I started getting a lot of traction on TikTok, and people were applying to my coaching. And this is around the time in my life, I will never forget it. My coaching application was going crazy. I was getting new applications every few minutes of every hour of every single day for days in a row. I was like, holy shit, this is the most craziest thing I've ever experienced. I had so many people wanting to be coached by me, and it happened all at once. I was so overwhelmed because I didn't know how I was going to handle this load of people. I literally hired my little sister to help me get back to people because it was so many people around that time. But see how when you go into the fire, you just have that self-belief that you're able to do something, even though you have no idea how it's going to happen. That's going to help you guys get to your goals, because the fact that I left serving and I had faith that things would work out for me, even though I had no idea how the hell it was going to work out, God blessed me tenfold. I had so many people coming my way, and because of TikTok and God and everything, I was able to make my coaching business around that time a full-time thing that I do. I didn't even have to do DoorDash anymore. I was able to do what fulfills me for a living, and I've been able to do that ever since 2021. So that's a huge journey in my life that I don't really talk about too much, just because I know being an entrepreneur is not something that a lot of people can relate to, and that type of like content wouldn't really help people, like at least my audience. So that's why I don't talk about it too much. I just wanted to tell you guys that story because it's so impactful how much you can change your life when you just believe. And something else I want to mention, guys, is yes, you need to have belief and faith, but you have to put the action in. You have to take messy action. You're not going to know how to do something. You're not going to have the confidence right away. You guys need to take messy action and spend downtime researching. Like when I started blowing up on TikTok, I remember it was spring break and I actually had COVID. So I was with my friends, but I ended up getting sick and I was in the room. And instead of dwelling in my sickness and feeling sad and soaking in it, I spent that time researching and just looking at everyone's TikToks and observing. And then I was learning how to edit videos. So in that downtime, that's when I learned how to do these things. So all you guys need to do is literally go online, look things up. And yes, you definitely want some sort of plan and you want to look into things, but you don't want to spend too long in that, because a lot of people spend way too much time planning and trying to get the confidence to do something, and you're not going to have the confidence to do it. You have to do things scared. You have to do things and take messy action and just take the action. You have to be okay with people judging you and perceiving you, because that's going to happen in your journey, but that's going to help you get to abundance. Who gives a shit what that person from high school thinks of you? You need to follow your dreams. You just have to execute, guys. You have to have the self-belief that you're able to do it, because you're capable of so much, guys. You're made in God's image, and He wants you to be successful. He wants you to have abundance and fulfillment. So you guys just need to go after it. I have so many friends, guys. I can't express it enough. So many friends that tell me that they have a goal and a dream, and they've been telling me the same thing for years, and they plan things out, which is amazing, but they don't actually execute and get out of their comfort zone. I know it's scary as hell to get out of your comfort zone. There's so many times in my life, especially someone that has social anxiety, where I let myself feel so uncomfortable, but I had to be okay with that because it helped me get to where I wanted to be in life. There's so many instances in my life where I've been able to have that self-belief, and it got me so far in that aspect of my life. So I hope that this episode really inspired you and spoke to your heart and your soul, that you're more than capable. I literally have chills, guys. This is crazy. You're more than capable to accomplish things. You just need to believe in yourself. You don't have to know how or the why. You just got to do the damn thing, have some small plan, be okay with being judged if you're being judged, and just go after it. And I promise you're going to have so much success and abundance and fulfillment in your life. I am rooting for you. I'm praying for you guys. In the comments below, I want you guys to tell me what's in the forefront of your mind right now. What's heavy on your heart that you know you should be stepping into, but you're too afraid to step into it. Comment it below. Let's know your fears and just everything coming up. Or you guys can tell me what part of the episode resonated the most for you guys. Let me know other topics that you guys want me to cover on the podcast. If you feel inclined to do so, make sure you guys subscribe, comment below, and even share this with someone that you know is dealing with this right now. They're dealing with that self-doubt. They're dealing with being too afraid to step into something new. Share this with them, because you never know whose life you can impact just by one podcast. I'm gonna head off, guys. I am so excited for episode 5. Make sure you guys subscribe, just like I mentioned. And it would mean the world to me if you guys share this on your story, share the clips that I post on social media, and just share this podcast, because so many people would benefit from being able to hear this message. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.